Can you tell us about what is it like to work with Chinese people?
I do manage a team now. One challenge is, but there's definitely means to work around it, is the respect for hierarchy. There is the requirement here that you need to kind of listen, you need to respect your hierarchy, and there's not much challenge given to your superiors. So if a new project or task needs to be done, the kind of communication does need to come from your senior or their senior. So sometimes when I'm working cross-functional, so I'm from my department to another department, and I'll be kind of collaborating with my peers. If there's a requirement to do something new outside of their current tasks, it can be a little bit difficult to get that moving unless their boss has bought into it and has communicated to them that they should support. But I think once you realize that, you know then to engage. So I think you have to, first you need to build your kind of partnerships with your peers if you want to work cross-functionally, and you need to build a friendship there. I think that's important if you're going to have a close working relationship. But then you also need to make sure that you're engaging both your seniors and their seniors into whatever you're going to work on, and getting that then communicated down if you really want to gain traction. I find there's a lot of ideas from colleagues, but you definitely need to. I think in UK we're pushed to be more, as individuals we'll kind of battle it out in terms of sharing our ideas. I think in China I found it works better, and from my experience of managing a team, is if you allow teams to compete. I think Chinese people are very competitive, but not necessarily as individuals against individuals. If you have like 2 or 3 people working together versus 2 or 3 people versus together, then you'll see huge amount of competition flourish. Kids in school in China grow up in a very competitive environment, having to outcompete their peers constantly. But I definitely find the teams, the colleagues are more comfortable to work when they're working in a group. And so I think, you just have to change that dynamic sometimes. Whereas maybe with my UK colleagues, that's not necessarily as necessary. They're happy to work as individuals more so. But other than that, I think there's always means to mediate the differences. But no, I find it really interesting because you just, working together is great, but you also just learn so much more about life and their experiences. And it's really interesting to talk to, China's moved so quickly over the last few decades, and I've got colleagues from, 60, 50 years of age all the way down to in their 20s, and to work alongside them and to talk to them and to hear their stories of how they've grown up and hear the intergenerational rivalries in China is really fascinating. Like you've always got the post-80s and the post-90s in the office. That's always a big rivalry that I enjoy mixing up sometimes and hearing the two sides from them. So no, it's a great experience.